What's up guys, Enkiri here, and today by popular demand I've got a training vlog locked and loaded for you guys. Now I asked in my last video if you guys wanted to see these full training session vlogs make a return here on the channel, and there was a lot of interest in it, so here we are and here we go. Now if you do want to see these vlogs consistently, once again, please be sure to smash that like button and leave me a friendly comment down below so we can get some of them algo gains as well. Now just like before, when I used to do these training vlogs, I do have 2 training sessions here for you guys in this video today, comprising a full week of lower body training on my conjugate style programming. And I'll be honest, these 2 sessions took place about 6 months apart or something like that. It might have even been more. I can't really remember, but I have this massive backlog of training footage that I want to try to give a full recap on, and because the footage is solid and it deserves it. Now in recent times though, I just need to remember to start filming all my work again, because I had kind of gotten out of the habit of filming a lot of the accessory work when I stopped doing these vlogs. But anyway, either way, it doesn't really matter when the sessions took place, right? The first session here is my max effort style session, and the second one is my rep work style session. But the exercises and training emphases are going to rotate and evolve over time. So it doesn't really matter when the sessions took place, because it's all really just kind of plug and play in my conjugate style programming anyway. So I kicked the day off here with a heavy pause SSB squat, ATG as deep as I can go. And I generally try to hold that pause for around 3 seconds, but sometimes I do get a little bit antsy when the weight starts getting heavy. Now I do think I could have either held this pause with 360, the top single, for a good bit longer than I actually did, or I could have put maybe another 10 or maybe 20 pounds on the bar if I really felt like fighting for it. I did actually hit 370 on this exact variation a few weeks later, ATG pause again, and honestly it was pretty easy. I mean, easy is a relative term, but you know what I mean. And then after the heavy squats, I did a few clunky looking sets of sprints. Now, I call these 5-10 flying sprints, and I picked this idea up from Will Rattel, but basically you use an abbreviated approach here. I'm using just a 5-yard approach. That's where the 5 in the 5-10 comes from. And then I'm running a 10-yard flying sprint after that. So that's where the 10 comes from. Now, the abbreviated approach zone keeps you away, well away from top speed, but it does give you a chance to build a small amount of momentum before you get into the flying zone, and it kind of takes some of the pressure off of those first couple steps as you move into the flying zone. So you do kind of get a nice blend of elements from both static sprint work as well as a little bit from flying sprint work as well. Obviously you could toy with the distance of the approach a little bit too, but in general, I like this, the 5-10. I've also toyed around with 10-10, so a 10-yard approach into a 10-yard fly. Either way, this tactic lets you get in a large volume of high-quality reps without beating yourself up. And the repeat exposure is always a helpful tool as well. Another thing I've started doing recently is a dedicated field day again. So for that, I just go outside and I do nothing but agility drills, sprints, and different kinds of jumping and plyometric exercises. And that's the whole training session, and you really can't go wrong with that kind of stuff. It gets you out into the sunlight, it gets you moving your body in a whole bunch of different ways that you don't get in the gym, plus the turf is a lot more forgiving on my old joints than concrete is, so I can do larger volumes of work without killing myself in the process. So hopefully I get some good footage of those field days coming up in the next few weeks, and then you guys will start seeing that work pop up pretty soon in these vlogs as well. Next up was the Hatfield split squat, and I really like doing my split squat work Hatfield style with the SSB. It really lets you load these movements up and really focus on working a full range of motion without too much in the way of stability concerns. Now, in this particular variation, my focus here is primarily on moving the knee way forward in front of the toes and focusing on getting that really deep knee bend and then driving strongly out of the bottom. Not really much else to say here about this movement. but it's quality work overall. And I wrapped up this first session with some glute ham raises and standing ab wheel rollouts. Now with the glute ham raise, you'll notice that the first 2 reps on this set were really hard. So I've been increasing the difficulty here by pushing myself further forward on the pad in order to increase the resistance that I have to move with my hammies. And then after a couple reps there, I shifted myself back onto the pad so that I could hit a few easier reps to finish the set out. And I did 3 sets in total in that same fashion. I hit the ab wheel in between, and I was still pretty early on in building back up to doing standing rollout reps here, so these are pretty rough around the edges at this point, but I'm cleaning them up, and honestly, they're a lot cleaner now, but these are always a work in progress anyway for me. And that wraps up the max effort session. So now, on to the rep day. Now, many of you will probably remember this particular training session from last year because I posted a video of me squatting, front squatting 225 pounds for 21 reps. I did that in 45 seconds or something like that. And it was part of my front squat battle with Bald Omni-Man. And I did this set here just to one-up Paris a little bit. But before I got into the front squats, I had to hit me some jerks, man. I had to get in some explosive work. Now, I used to love jerks, but I have not consistently done them for like 10 years now. So every time I do them now, they're always pretty unpolished, and it takes me a good bit of time to really get a feel for the movement again. Here, I worked up to a single with 300 pounds from behind the neck, and honestly, every rep I did basically felt like shit from 185 on up until I got to like 285 pounds. Once I got to like 285, the form was finally dialed in, and the reps I did with 285 and then 300 actually felt easy as fuck. And I realized I probably could have done another 15 or 20 pounds at that point. But my main goal on this day was to hit the 225 for 20 on the front squat. So I didn't want to burn myself out either mentally or physically before attempting that set. So after the 300-pound jerk, I moved on to the front squats. Now here, I warmed my way up slowly, right? I started with just 95 pounds, I think. Then I bumped to 135. And after that, I was taking 20 or 30-pound jumps and hitting 4 or 5 easy reps per set, really just to give myself a feel for trying to hit those kind of bang-bang style, rhythmic style reps before I got up to my working weight, my planned working weight of 225 pounds. So I ended up doing 215 for 4 nice, smooth, easy reps. After that, I rested a couple minutes, then I loaded up 2 plates and I just went after it, man. And it was clean. Now, obviously, my front rack was starting to go a little bit by the end of the set. My legs were tired as hell. I didn't have my hands on the bar to stabilize it or brace the upper back because I was doing them zombie style, which makes it harder on the upper back. But overall, I was proud of this set. It has to, obviously, also it has to be very precise when you're doing shit zombie style as well. And I wasn't sure how things were going to go going into this set, honestly, because I have rarely in my life have I ever done a set of front squats for more than 5 reps, let alone 10 or fucking 20 of them. So this was uncharted territory for me. But at the end of it, I was really glad that I did it because it kind of gave me a bit of a new perspective on front squats, not just on like the high rep work, but also kind of like what I'm capable of in terms of them and kind of what is actually still valuable in terms of front squats. Before, I would have thought that 10 or 20 rep sets on a front squat weren't all that great of a thing to even attempt. But after this, I ended up doing 275 for 10 zombie style, right? And then a couple weeks after this set, I did 250 for 20, not zombie style. That time I used the clean grip with straps for that set so that I'd actually be able to maintain my brace a bit better and hit that 20 rep Widowmaker set solidly. But then after that 250 set, that one ended my foray into the Widowmaker style front squats because the shit is just brutal. And then I started dabbling with sets in that 10 to 15 rep range, which is where I ended up hitting the 275 for 10. And my next goal is to kind of take that 275, bump it up to 15. But this was honestly like a year ago at this point. So it's been a while. I need to get back into the high rep front squats again. And that's another reason why I love these training vlogs, man. They force me to go back and revisit my old footage, which makes me remember certain things that I've even forgotten about my own training. So it's valuable shit all around, man. And I finished up the session here with some solid hip thrusts and then a few 400-meter sandbag carries after that. And that was a wrap, man. So it's awesome stuff overall. I'm still building strength in the old legs, keeping them sharp and explosive and supple, and I'm just staying generally fit in as many different ways as I can. My training has been productive, and I'm excited to show you guys more of what I've been doing this past year, more in depth, and really how it has been evolving since the middle of last year to right now today. So be sure to stay tuned, smash the like button, and let me know how your training has been going in the comments down below. Be sure to check out EnkiriEliteFitness.com for online coaching and kick-ass training programs, and keep training hard. I will catch you guys next time.